Excellent. Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music is the long-awaited finale to the Bill and Ted trilogy, finally now getting a conclusion. I'm a fan of the first two Bill and Ted movies. I like them sort of equally. I've always had a soft spot for the second one especially, but I do like both of them quite a lot. And I was very excited to see what they could do with the Bill and Ted 3. I was hoping it wouldn't be an awful, bland, boring movie that was just referencing the other one, just a boring remake, whatever like that. This movie does find some uniquity, and it definitely is a bland sort of reboot, but the Bill and Ted movies are supposed to be complete fun. They are not supposed to look down into the plot, they're not supposed to be a really clever take on time travel or anything like that. They're just supposed to be two guys, stupid guys, who are in a phone booth traveling through time. And you know what? That's sometimes all you need in a movie, and Bill and Ted 3 has it. So let's talk about this movie. And of course, getting Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter back is just awesome to me. I love that. And especially Keanu Reeves, who's come off things like John Wick, and then coming back to this is it's awesome, dude. I really, really like a lot of their mannerisms together and their charisma on screen, their friendship peaks this entire movie. And this movie goes into these two guys maybe just be too good friends, and maybe it's affecting their lives a bit too much. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because they are Bill and Ted, and they stick together. And it's just an awesome thing, I think, with those two characters. Experiencing all this, they never really have any low points with each other. They never argue. They just have such a good time in this movie, and it's very, very fun. There is some added relationship stuff with their wives, which I thought was pretty funny. It is pushed to the side a little bit, but it is quite humorous. And the stuff with their daughters, when there's basically two plots of this movie going on at once. There's their daughters going back and basically finding all these old musicians to be part of their band. And of course you have Bill and Ted themselves going into the future, further and further into the future, looking at themselves, trying to steal one of their old songs so they can save the universe with the song, whatever, you know. Ridiculous plot points, but it's fun and cheesy and it's enjoyable. And it's really interesting seeing them meet their older selves, which are horrible, and seeing them interact was really, really funny, and seeing what they become I thought was very, very enjoyable to me, and seeing this story build and build from that I thought was very enjoyable. The movie is very short, it's only around an hour and a half. I wish it was a little bit longer to really develop some things. It did feel very, very quick at the start of the movie, and there are a lot of bland story elements, and basically about halfway through I could predict where the movie could have gone because it was shown in the trailer. But the rest of this movie I actually found pretty fun. It's very fast moving, there's never a break in the pace, there's never a point where you're like, oh, can we get this moving? There's never a point where you're like, oh, I'm getting bored now, what is this? This makes no sense. You just sat there enjoying the nostalgic experience, but it's also able to have some things that are fresh and new. It actually feels quite unique. As I said, with them meeting their other selves, that sort of thing feels a bit different. It's definitely a very modernized version of Bill and Ted, which I enjoyed. It's not trying to be a replica of what we saw before. It's just trying to be another Bill and Ted adventure to conclude this trilogy, and I think it did a really good job of that, and I had a blast watching Bill and Ted 3. It does exactly what it needs to do very, very well, and I think it's enjoyable. There are some things I do have an issue with. Some of the green screen, they use quite a lot of it, just didn't look realistic. Some of the CG just looked very unfinished and very bland, and it just didn't really look convincing at all. It's just a small thing, I don't really care about it, but every time it was on screen it just looked very distracting to me. And I think some of the pacing can be a little off at times. They didn't really give enough time to let Bill and Ted fully shine in this movie. It was just another fun adventure with them. They didn't really give us a full reason why we should see these characters back, or something they have to overcome or anything. It just feels tacked on. But for what a Bill and Ted 3 needed to be, it was that. I loved the finale, getting all these musicians from all over the world and different time periods, all putting this incredible song together. I thought it was very, very awesome, and I thought this was a good movie. I liked this movie quite a bit. I had a good time watching Bill and Ted 3. It's a fun, safe, nostalgic adventure that's extremely lighthearted and entertaining. But does a Bill and Ted movie have to be something great? Does it have to be something special or unique? No. It has to be enjoyable, entertaining, and it does that. I'm gonna give Bill and Ted Face the Music a B. I'm also gonna give this movie a 6.9 out of 10. Guys, comment down below your opinions on the Bill and Ted films, if you have seen them and this new movie. And of course, thanks for watching, and be excellent.
How is that stealing? If we're stealing it from ourselves, dude.